Hello, and thank you for joining. And thank you for joining this Azure Data Factory crash course. And this is the first series of cloud skill boosts of all the class boost skills series. My to give you a background, I wanted to start this cloud skills boost series because I am an IT professional. I've been mm, doing databases and all those things for a while, and every time you know the technology changes, and every time something changes, then I have to scrap for training. I have to try to find something, and maybe things are not cheap. So I wanted to start this cloud skills boost series, to help people out there that are trying to get the content to learn, and learn it for free. And I'm gonna try to give as complete content as possible, so that you'll be able to do the job you want, or maybe you're trying to change your career. So I want to do it for free. I want to be able to help people. you know I want to share the skills that I know, and so that people can use it in order to get a job, or maybe get an advancement, or they're just curious about that particular technology, and they just want to know whatever you need. I want to be able to create a series of skills. So this is the first one. So the first one that I have is mastering Azure Data Factory. So this course is going to be where you learn how to build you know cloud data pipeline from scratch. And the purpose is to teach you, to going from beginners to uh, you know being able to build the cloud data pipelines in 30 days. And this is this is day one. Whether you're here because you're wondering how companies move massive data amounts from point A to point B, or your your company is going to Azure and you need to learn Azure Data Factory, or you just maybe you want to get a job for Azure Data Factory. Hopefully, I can help. So I'm going to try to give you whatever I can. So for this course, this is what I said is to get you from beginning to being able to create, the pipelines in 30 days. So this is the 4 weeks content that I have planned. And if you have any comments, if you want me to change something, or if you want me to make it longer, or whatever, you can put in the comments. Or if you have any questions, you can put in the comments, and I'll answer anything that I can. So basically, like you see here, week one is going to be ADF fundamentals. Week two is going to be core concepts. Week three is going to be real world scenarios. And then week four is going to be advanced, and then career. So, and of course, I mean, you can watch, you know, if you watch the videos after I create them, and you can watch 4, 5, 10 of them if you want on the same day, um, whatever is your bandwidth. But for me, I'm creating it, keeping in mind that people may not have time. So I want to keep it short, and to the point, so that people will have time to remember, and then they'll come back and for the next video. So you can watch it at your own pace. So let's go into day one. So day one is, what is ADF, or what, or let me say before I say ADF. So ADF is just an acronym for Azure Data Factory, right? So, so what is ADF? So ADF or Azure Data Factory is basically a cloud-based ETL, which is extract, transform, and load of data and data integration services that's created by Microsoft. For those of you, that are familiar with previous versions or the on-prem version, that is the equivalent is SSIS. So this is the SSIS version of the Azure, the on-cloud version. So what is it used for? It's used to, like I said, extract, transform, and load data. So what's that? So, you know, companies get data from everywhere, or even within the same company, like data comes in different formats. So you have to be able to extract that data, transform it, and load it to your destination, basically. So, and ADF, so from now on, I'm going to be referring to Azure Data Factory as ADF. So, so ADF supports 90 plus data sources, which is the data source can be SQL Server or REST API or Blob or, you know, so CSV. There are several different data sources that it supports. What does that mean? So different sources can can export the data to our ADF in different formats, and our process, which is the ADF, going to be able to accept that data. It's going to see, okay, so this is a SQL Server data. Okay, then I understand what that is. So it's going to be able to accept that data and then do whatever we tell it to do. So on a high level, this is the Azure data flow, which is we have our source, and then we have our link services. This will be explained more in the later services. Just understand what this overall architecture flow is. And then we have our data sets, and then we have our pipeline, and then we have our sinks. That's our destination. So that's what we showed. Like that was a graphical presentation, but you have your source, you have your link services, you have your data sets, pipeline, and sync. I think we already saw this. No, no, we didn't. So what are the real world use case for this? So banking. So let's say a bank, you go deposit your money in a branch. So the bank has to be able to transfer the data of your account to their different uh, you know, to the different destination systems. So and then to your if they have an online presence, I mean like an Azure presence, then they have to move that data to that place. So that's what they use. So they have different sources where they get the data. So they take that, they massage the data or they clean the data and then they send it to the destination. Same thing with retail. So you have, let's say, a retail has 10 stores. So 10 store data is going to go to one central location, maybe the Maybe the owner needs to see, like the current sales or the daily sales. So all that data has to be massaged and be able to be delivered to the destination so that so that they need to use the data as they need. Same thing with healthcare. So they have healthcare have different different systems, different locations. So that data gets exported to maybe the insurance or the insurance or maybe pharmacy. So that's all ways of moving data from one place to another and making it available for use and making that data tell stories or whatever you need to see. So key features of of ADF. So you have your pipelines, which we're going to discuss. You have your activities, uh, which are the tasks within the pipelines. So you define what you need to do within within the pipeline. So when you get the data, then what are you going to do with it, or or how are you going to transform it? And link services. So what are the connections that configurations that you're going to make? You can't just transform the data and you don't have any connection configurations. And the data sets, which are the data structures, how you want to see it, and then you have your triggers, which are basically, I mean, if you're familiar with with the on-prem version of it, these are equivalent to like statistical jobs. So you have to automate things. You can't just, I mean, you can, but you don't want to have somebody sit there and just run this pipeline every hour when you can just automate it. When you need to run this every hour, then you have to be able to automate it so that it can run by itself. So in general, like these are going to be the key features that we're going to be working on. We're going to be looking at in the subsequent videos or or, you know or courses, but it's just to give you an overview of what the key features are for ADF. So to sum it up, like ADF is your one-stop shop for moving or transforming data, at a scale in the cloud. And when we say in the cloud, you have GCP, which is Google Cloud, and then you have Azure or Oracle. But this is what ADF is like. ADF is for Azure. So that's going to be what we're going to be discussing on this day one. But in day two, we're going to be talking about what the differences between ADF uh, and ADF and SSIS, um, and and what the key differences are. Maybe what we see with both. So we'll dive deeper into what those differences are. So this will conclude um, the day one video, and thank you for watching. And thank you for watching, and would greatly appreciate if you like this video or subscribe if you like it. and comment for day two and what you see and what you want us to improve, uh, or even the format. I mean, or this is if you think this is going to help you or how it's going to help you, then or if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions. If I don't know it, I'll find out the answer and I'll answer it for you. So for day one, thank you very much, everybody, for for tuning in and watching. Hopefully, we can make this great series. So you know, learnings that would help a whole lot of people. And thank you very much. And see you in day two video.